AITA for trading plates with my son at a barbecue after the adults refused to let him have a burger. My husband met some guy back last year and became close with him over the months. He just invited us down for a barbecue at his house yesterday. We brought food as well. We brought enough for 12 burgers, 12 hot dogs and some extra, like sodas, chips, etc. There was roughly 8 adults and probably around 12 kids at the barbecue, not including us and our 3 kids, 13, 9 and 8 months. Our oldest of 3 children doesn't like hot dogs. He is grossed out by them. He watched a video on how they were made years ago and has refused to touch them since. So when he went up to the grill and he was handed a couple hot dogs, he politely asked for a burger instead. The guy at the grill, husband's friend, says nope, sorry kid, the burgers are for the adults. I tried explaining that he doesn't like hot dogs and the guy just kind of shrugged his shoulders. So I asked for a burger and right in front of him I had my son switch plates with me. This did cause some hang-ups. The other kids were asking why he got a burger when they weren't allowed to. However, no one said anything directly to me or my son. Well, this guy's been texting my husband today saying that next time there's a barbecue, I'm not invited, followed by a lol like it was a joke. Husband asked why and he said that I caused an uproar over a hot dog and that this was just how shit went at their house and that burgers are for the adults only whenever there's a barbecue at their place and they won't be changing their rules to accommodate to a lone child. My husband hasn't responded and now I'm just pissed in general because now I think the guy's a scumbag. It wasn't like we went empty-handed. 12 extra burgers is what I personally brought and if my son wanted one of them, he's going to have one regardless of what this man says. My husband thinks I should just drop it but he's literally not defending me or our son here and I'm pissed. Was I wrong here? Now a few comments. That guy is an asshole for many reasons. Who hosts a cookout and makes their guests bring their own hot dogs and hamburgers and then tells the kid of the parents who brought the food they can't have a burger? Get some better friends. We had a family friend who started a fight between my husband and I. They had been friends for many, many years before we met, though I actually went to high school with the friend. He owed us money and because he didn't have the funds to pay us back he started a fake fight with me over something really stupid. He badmouthed me to my in-laws. He wouldn't talk to me when my mill was in the hospital. It was ridiculous. My husband kept telling me to just let it go. He came to our house with his kids after all of us went to visit my mill at the hospital when she was fighting cancer. He gave me the coldest shoulder as he walked in, colder than the one at the hospital. I went into the family room and asked him if he had a problem with me. He said yes. I told him he was not allowed to disrespect me in my home and he needed to leave. So he did. I flat out told my husband he had a choice to make. Either he defended me, especially in our own home, or if he wouldn't, to let me know and we could end it right then and there. He defended me. After that, my in-laws and my husband started to see him for who he was. We are still friends but he did major damage to our relationship with him. It's okay to remain friends with people, so long as you know and understand who they are. If you and your husband want to remain friends, fine, but set clear boundaries that none of you will be attending his BBQs in the future. You just magically will have other things to do. If your husband won't abide by that boundary of yours, better to know now. It's this story. TLDR: a husband on AITA essentially admits to what can only be described as a non-sexual affair with his best male friend. Like, full-on barely giving any attention to his wife but bought his best mate Gucci shoes. When commenters asked if Op was gay or bisexual he said he didn't want to think about it, more or less. The conclusion most people came to was Op and best guy friend are gay, but Op at least is so deep in the closet he refuses to even consider the question because the answer is yes. So no, you are not the a-hole. Next story. AITA for calling my girlfriend a dumbass and taking away her key after she almost burned my house down. Poo mode activated, poop. My girlfriend wanted a pizza. I have really good frozen pizzas from the local Italian market. They are made fresh and if you do them up on a pizza stone they come out perfect. I have made these for us many times. It is a simple process. You take the pizza stone and put it in the oven, let the oven preheat. Put the pizza on the paddle and slide it onto the hot stone. Once it's ready you slide the paddle under the pizza and pull it out. Put it on the carving board and cut it. Easy, right? Nope. My pizza stone was dirty. It is scorched, not dirty. So her brilliant idea was to make the pizza on my plastic cutting board. Because that way she could just take the cutting board out with oven mitts and cut the pizza without having to use all the tools. I got home to see black smoke coming out of my house and my girlfriend on the phone with 911. My dog is not on his leash and he's going crazy. I go to the front door to see if it's hot in the house or if I can see flames. No flames, no heat. I get to the stove and turn it off. I open the sliding door to let out more smoke and get my leash on the way out. The firefighters are there within 5 minutes and the smoke is already dissipating. They go in to make sure. All clear. Thank God they were there less than an hour. It is covered by the city. If it was over an hour I would have been charged for the response. My oven is fucked though. And I have a lot of smoke damage to clean up. I told my girlfriend I was glad she was okay but that she is a dumbass and she wasn't allowed in my house alone for a while. I took her key away. We do not live together. But she has roommates and likes having a big house to herself on her days off. She says that it's a mistake anyone could make and that I'm an asshole for calling her names. Yes, she said those words. She says it's my fault for not just getting microwave pizza and having to eat fancy. Now a few comments. NTA a 24 years old. Who doesn't know you can't put a plastic cutting board in the oven is a dumbass. She didn't apologize. She thinks you're too fancy for wanting non-microwaved pizza. Seems like she likes having your house to herself more than she likes you. This reminds me of my childhood. Growing up, I always thought I hated steak because my mom always cooked them super well done and then microwaved them to a sad, gray puck of meat because she was worried about salmonella or whatever other food poisoning could happen from pink steak. Then she'd give us ketchup because steak sauce was too spicy for her and there way no way us kids would like it. I never liked the overcooked steak with ketchup so I just assumed that steak was generally gross. It took until my mid-20s before I realized that I didn't hate steak, I just hated my mom's cooking. I went out to eat with my now husband for his birthday and he convinced me to get a filet mignon. When I tell you it was one of the best things I had ever eaten, I'm not exaggerating. I've had to rethink a lot of my hated foods because I've since learned that I enjoy 90% of the things I thought I always hated. I don't think I ever really disliked them, it was just how my mom prepared them. She's a black pepper is too spicy, broiled chicken and steamed veggies kind of person. At least in her older age she's come to accept that she makes boring food and since she only cooks for herself, she doesn't expect anyone to like it. Look dude, even if that's the thought process. This was multiple levels of dumb. She called the fucking fire department because she burned something in the oven. Did she go check it first? Were there even flames? Or did she see smoke and just immediately call 911? She didn't even turn the fucking oven off. I could almost forgive plastic and oven stupidity but it just continues from there. So, not the a-hole at all. Original post, June 4th 2024. My girlfriend Anna, 32F, all names changed BTW, and I, 35M, are currently living in a house that I own since before the start of our relationship. Anna's best friend, Catherine, 33F, and I never really got along. Partially maybe because we're very different types of people but primarily it's because she doesn't approve of the fact that Anna and I have an open relationship. Ever since Anna disclosed this fact to Catherine, she accused me of cheating and that I pressured Anna into it. Our interactions have gone from frosty to cold. And just to set the record straight, it's not cheating. Cheating absolutely exists in open relationships. The thresholds are just set through discussion and neither of us ever did anything that's against these agreed upon hard rules ever. Also neither one of us pressured the other one, we just had a conversation early in our relationship why our previous relationships failed and realized that both of us struggled with relationships getting routine and we weren't ready to mothball the thrill and excitement of meeting and dating new people yet. As we're both not particularly jealous people we decided to try a non-monogamous relationship and it worked well for us ever since. I also already tried explaining this to Catherine once or twice, so from my point of view I did my due diligence to have a good relationship with her but her perception of that might differ. Anyways, last week Anna had an unexpected emergency call from Catherine and, as it turns out, she's serving her hubby with divorce papers because he had a secret affair over the last few months. As a good friend does, Anna immediately invited her friend to stay at our place for a few weeks until things are sorted out. Catherine doesn't have family here but we both have beds in our respective home offices and so in her mind it was the perfect solution. When Anna told me a few minutes after the call, I quickly had to pump the brakes. I'm not going to lie that the idea of having a hostile houseguest in my own home isn't unappealing on its own already but that's not even my main reason. Both Anna and I have friends with benefits/secondary partners that occasionally stay over when Anna works night shift or I'm traveling for work and they also visit just for the occasional, platonic movie night or dinner party. Friends with benefits are friends after all. Now, Having Catherine here would mean we'd either have to significantly scale back these relationships for an undetermined length of time or have them over anyways. As I imagine Catherine is probably even less tolerant towards perceived infidelity right now, that would probably just be a shitty to hostile experience for our other partners. Both of these things, to me, sound unfair towards me and our secondary relationships, as we always saw these as real relationships that deserve respect and consideration just as much as our relationship, within some increments of prioritization of course. I told Anna that I don't want Catherine living here. Anna pretty much saw my reasoning right away and, given that I own the house, apologized for her rushed invitation and called Catherine to take it back. But since then the situation has gotten out of hand tbh. Our friends are pretty much split along the lines of it's your house and wow, you put Catherine on the streets just because of your side chicks? And Catherine kicked the conversation up an additional notch by insinuating that I'm trying to isolate Anna from her and just said no because I hate that they are friends. For the record, I never had a problem with their friendship nor did I ever do anything to limit it. Anyways, I'm increasingly starting to wonder if my objection has been worth it and the right call or if it's been unfair towards Catherine. So AITA? Edit, maybe to clarify. Catherine has never been outwardly aggressive or offensive against me. It's always been insinuations and probably gossip. AITA has no consensus bot. Oop was NTA. Relevant comments. Oop responds to multiple questions on why other people are involved in Oop's relationship with his wife. Oop. Why are other people involved? Because Catherine looped in additional friends against my/our will. Catherine is an adult, she is able to resolve her own problems. Yeah, I'd love to do that but I'd feel much more comfortable if this situation is resolved or at least pacified, too. We disclosed our relationship status on basically a need-to-know basis and my worry is that Catherine might actually make it known to people that don't know yet if she continues and this keeps spiraling. But that's a separate dilemma. Leaving for me, NTA it should have been discussed with you prior to offering, but Anna seems pretty rational and course-corrected. There are plenty of ways for Anna to support Catherine other than to bring this person into your home that judges you and does not accept your relationship. Your objection is worth it as it sounds like if Catherine moves in for a term she will serve to cause you problems and frustration. Oop, given how much she's already managing to do that from the outside, inviting her in is basically out of the question at this point. My ideas for extending the olive branch would have been apologizing, maybe trying to find an apartment or a very short stay. Cute Profession 9983. NTA and Catherine's reaction is all the proof you needed to keep her out of your house. Also, you're not making her homeless, she is. She could have told the cheater to leave. Oop, actually one of my compromises I suggested when telling Anna no was to take in Catherine's hubby for a month on a purely functional bed-to-sleep basis but basically Catherine doesn't want to be at their shared home right now because the affair also took place there. Update, June 16, 2024. Original post. I figured I'd be giving an update because I still get X upvotes notifications for my initial post somehow. The responses were also actually kinda helpful so I'd also like to say thanks and share the outcome. It was reassuring that so many people agreed we weren't out of line and we should stick with our decision. Even more helpful were the questions why we didn't turn the tables, got in front of the supposed backlash, more on that later, and said well, why don't you host her then? What can I say except that we're not located somewhere where everyone from your barber to your second cousin will blow up your inbox/socials and call you an asshole to your face on behalf on a third party. We only heard about the criticism against us through the grapevine and we didn't really have a specific person to say well, then you take her too. But, after reading your comments, Anna got the idea to let out a WhatsApp broadcast to our shared friend group. It basically said that we're feeling very oil tie because say of ka thirin situation, sorry. Very guilty because of Catherine's situation and that it was shitty to make a promise and then take it back. But we simply realized that our lifestyle seemed like it might be triggering to her in her current situation that would be uncomfortable for everyone involved. But we'd be happy to help anyone who'll take her in whatever way we can. Cue the crickets. That was the moment we realized that maybe there were less people on Catherine's side than we initially assumed. Actually, only one couple, who were friends with both Catherine and her hubby, reached out to invite us to dinner, apparently to share some things we weren't aware of yet. First of all, according to them the affair wasn't the carnal thing Catherine made it out to be and more of a falling out of love situation on the husband's side that has long been coming. Basically he met someone and that made him realize that his marriage was dead. And he did the moral thing and broke up with Catherine. No one is 100% sure if there's been something physical before that but I wouldn't be surprised if that was all in Catherine's head. There's also apparently a very juicy reason why he gets to keep staying in the house, but this update is long enough already. Anyways, as for the whole smear campaign lodged against us, turns out that the whole drama apparently consisted of only 3 things. Catherine trying to pressure us and, consciously or unconsciously, sowing rumors that everybody is really angry with us. A single couple that stood on Catherine's side. And a lot of people hoping to not get pulled into a war of roses and just nodding politely. The couple that was on Catherine's side are the friends that Catherine hit up right after us, by the way. The dinner party friends theory is that they threw us under the bus and fed into Catherine's outrage because that couple has a young daughter, and we know for a fact that Catherine has just as many Karen-style convictions about parenting as she has about relationship styles. Anyways, Catherine is now basically ostracized, moved in with family a bit outside the city, and is working remotely until she finds a condo to haunt this city from again. To the people that insinuated that I pressured Anna into this relationship or keep her on a short leash, given how NM dating works out for different genders, trust me when I tell you she isn't lacking options to get out of this relationship if she wanted. To the ones that criticized her for not standing up for me, I consciously didn't want to include this part because I didn't want to invite judgment of Anna. Yeah, hindsight is 20/20, but that has been a dicey subject in our relationship. But after having Anna's explicit permission to share this here now, there's actually a lot of backstory with Catherine adopting a loner Anna into her friend group back in their school days, and Anna somehow still feeling like she needed to earn her place in the friend group / be grateful for Catherine. She's currently looking into going to therapy for that. Finally, I want to add a last bit of positive news coming out of this shit show. This whole fiasco made Anna and me talk through the whole someone else moving in topic. It's not really something we're gonna do in the near future, but Anna told me that there's one person she's currently seeing with whom she might be eventually moving into that direction. And this time she asked me early if I'd be okay with her moving in with us somewhere in the future, hinge not thruple for the people that speak poly on here. I kinda like that. Catherine would probably hate that this is the outcome of her whole tantrum. But other than that, I'm really happy things are mainly back to normal now. Relevant comments. Adorable_accident 440, oh come on, what's the juicy reason? Lol. Oop, allegedly Catherine's husband was the one carrying their marriage financially and shouldering the vast majority of fixed expenses, despite both of them working and not that big of an earnings discrepancy between the two of them. So when she wanted to kick him out, he apparently said sure, I'll let you know when you need to pay what to keep everything running. Catherine goes surprised Pikachu face at the fact divorce means paying for your own living expenses and agrees to downsize in exchange for moving out and him buying her out of the house eventually. Basically she was living above her means somehow. No idea where her money went though. Original post, throwaway, my husband is cheating on me, and I'm going to make him regret it. Hi everyone. This is a throwaway account because I need to get this off my chest and I can't risk anyone finding out. I recently discovered that my husband of 10 years, Mark, is cheating on me. We've had our ups and downs, but I never thought he would do this to me. I found out when I saw some incriminating texts on his phone from a woman named Lisa. He's been meeting her behind my back for months. I'm devastated, but I'm not going to let this break me. Instead, I'm going to make him pay for what he's done. I've been planning my revenge carefully, and I think I'm ready to start putting it into action. I'll keep you all updated. Update 1. Update, Step 1, Financial Ruin. Thanks for all your support and suggestions in the comments. I've been busy executing the first part of my plan, hitting him where it hurts, his finances. Mark has always been terrible with money, so I've been the one managing our finances. Over the past few weeks, I've been slowly moving money out of our joint account into a secret account that he doesn't know about. I also made copies of all our important financial documents and found out he's been hiding some assets from me. Typical. Once I had everything I needed, I confronted him about our financial troubles. I told him I needed access to his separate accounts to consolidate our funds and get us back on track. He fell for it, of course, and now I have access to everything. Mark doesn't suspect a thing yet, but he's going to wake up one day soon and find himself broke. I can't wait to see the look on his face. Update 2. Update Step 2, Social Downfall. Hey everyone, back with another update. Things have been progressing well. Mark is a very social person, and his reputation means everything to him. So I decided to hit him next where it would hurt his ego the most. I started by gathering evidence of his affair, screenshots of texts, emails, and even photos of him with Lisa. I knew I needed to be thorough. I created an anonymous email account and started sending the evidence to his friends, family, and colleagues. I didn't send everything at once. I spaced it out to make it seem like it was leaking from multiple sources. I knew it would create a storm of gossip and speculation. The fallout has been glorious. His friends are distancing themselves, his family is furious, and his colleagues are starting to treat him differently. He's been coming home stressed and angry, but he still doesn't know I'm behind it. He thinks it's Lisa's crazy ex or someone from work trying to sabotage him. I'm not done yet. There's more to come. Update 3. Update Step 3, Career Destruction. Hi again, everyone. This update is a big one. Mark's career is the next target. He's worked so hard to climb the corporate ladder, but he's always taken credit for my ideas and hard work. It's time to bring him down a peg. I found out that Mark's company has a strict policy against workplace relationships. Lisa, it turns out, is his subordinate. I gathered all the evidence I needed and sent an anonymous tip to HR, complete with all the incriminating details and photos. HR launched an investigation, and Mark was put on leave. He came home furious, but there was nothing he could do without revealing the affair. He's been ranting about being unfairly targeted, but it's only a matter of time before the investigation concludes. Meanwhile, I've been in contact with a lawyer. I'm preparing to file for divorce and take everything I can. I'm also looking into how to get the house in full custody of our children. Mark has no idea what's coming next. Update 4. Final update. The endgame. Hello everyone. This will be my final update. Mark has officially been fired from his job. The HR investigation confirmed the affair, and with all the evidence I provided, they had no choice but to let him go. His reputation is in tatters, and he's been blacklisted from several companies in the industry. He's struggling to find any work at all. I filed for divorce last week. I had all the evidence of his infidelity, financial mismanagement, and emotional abuse ready for my lawyer. Mark didn't stand a chance. I'm getting the house, full custody of our children, and a significant portion of our assets. When I served him the divorce papers, he was a broken man. He begged me to reconsider, promised he would change, but it was too late. I told him exactly what I thought of him, how he destroyed our family, and that I'd been the one orchestrating his downfall. It felt incredibly satisfying to see the realization dawn on his face. Now it's time for me to move on. I'm starting fresh with my kids, and we're going to be just fine without him. Mark will have to live with the consequences of his actions, knowing that he lost everything because of his betrayal. Thank you all for your support throughout this journey. It's been a roller coaster, but I'm finally free. And that's the end of my story. I hope this serves as a reminder that betrayal comes with consequences, and sometimes karma needs a little help. So what's your opinion? Is Op right who went nuclear on her husband? Porky. AITA for wanting the autistic kid out of the classroom because he is a creep. First off, all sorry for my bad English. It's my third language. I 16F. In high school I'm going to an art school, and in my country if a disabled kid comes to an art school and wants to attend, the principal has no right to refuse but to let the kid attend the school. We have this autistic kid 16M. Let's call him Owen. For privacy reasons they never told us what kind of autism he has or how much the scale of it. It all started in 9th grade. If the lesson is biology, he would start reading books loudly. He will be shouting while reading the book. Or if it's history, he would stand up and start walking in class, saying things like the devil baby or shouting no non-stop. I talked with every teacher I could talk, but no, it never helped. This year in 10th grade, we thought he will shut up maybe. But no, for context, I'm taking medication for ADHD and I'm a really aggressive person normally. We have big screens in class for lessons and we can use them in break time. In lunch break, we just thought it would be great to do just dance for fun. We were dancing and laughing when one of the boys in our class called our names, and we turned back to see Owen touching himself. I mean, he was scratching there inside of his jeans, but it was weird and we all felt uncomfortable about it. When we told this to principal, he just said we cannot do anything about it and it was our responsibility to babysit him. I made my research, and special kids like Owen needs a shadow teacher to be with him 7/24. When I asked about it to our principal, she said that Owen's parents didn't want to hire that kind of teacher because they are still in denial. This kid is also very touchy with me, like when I stand up in class to solve a problem, he would also stand up and came closer until the teacher tells him to stop, or stands behind my desk when we are in class. I would like physical contact due to past trauma and I could snap at him any second. He throws metal pencil cases to us when he gets angry or just slap us. He opens music and doesn't let anyone close it, and I'm starting to think I'm crazy for wanting him out of this classroom. We're the only 10th grade classroom having a special child BTW. When I told the class about my idea wanting him to transfer to another classroom, they all went out on me saying I was too selfish and I needed to understand him. But no, he fucking touched himself while we were dancing. Are you expecting me to respect a creep? So Reddit, I need an opinion from someone who doesn't go to my school or doesn't live in my country. Please help. Update. Okay, so as everyone suggested in the original post, I talked with my parents yesterday, not with them, only with my mom, but I told her that he was masturbating in class while looking at us, and I didn't want it to think like he was creep, but his autism didn't mean he doesn't knows what he is doing, and it makes me feel unsafe in my classroom and in Muse school, and school should be a place where I'm supposed to feel safe, not seeing people masturbating in class. I don't think I mentioned two important things in my first post. First one is I'm going to a private art school, which I'm paying for my education. And this kind of things, like some autistic kid throwing metal pencil cases to me or masturbating in class, is not what me and my family are paying for. The second thing is that kid doesn't knows how to speak our first language. Like I said, I'm not American or British, and that kid can't even speak, and he is in high school. I mean, it's ridiculous. Only words I heard from him is when he is shouting the devil baby AAA, or his weird breathing noises. He can also say yes and no in English, but not in our mother language, which is weird for me. When he talks, he sometimes calls us dumb or stupid, and I wonder where he learned those words from, because none in pure class uses that kind of language in front of him. Also, another thing I need to mention, he is a special needs student and he pays 60% less than what I pay to that school. Again, I'm not paying for getting assaulted in school. I mentioned this in the post, but I need to say again, those kind of students like him needs a special teacher to be around him 24/7. His parents are in denial, that's what I am told, and not willing to pay for a special teacher for him. He also doesn't take special education for people like him. Again, his parents are refusing to send him, so the only thing he is taking help about is some kind of medicine to keep him calm, which is I had never seen at work. So as I was saying, I told my mom about it and he was mad. To my surprise, he wasn't angry at me but to my school. Her eyes teared up and she started telling me that she would talk with school, and after that she will talk with my uncle, a lawyer, about what to do in this situation. She was sad that I didn't told this to her when it happened and waited till the summer break. She was mad to herself because she didn't realize this kid would be so much trouble. They never told us there will be an autistic creep in our class when we first paid to school. But for now I'm searching for schools to change, because I don't think even if that kid gets kicked out to another class, I won't feel safe in that school. Thanks everyone who encouraged me to tell my mom about the situation, and I'll update as soon as school starts again. Edit, sorry for calling him vegetable. I was angry while writing the post, and I'm also angry about the whole situation. I deleted that part due to lots of hate. Also about the first post, I called it a scratching because I didn't want it to accuse some kid about masturbating in class, but I sent the post to my classmates to make sure they weren't uncomfortable. And they said scratching was not the term for it and he was actually touching himself, so I just changed it now. Relevant comments. Prestigious_rub6504. I had a 12th grader with autism that did this. One of the boys pulled me aside and told me that student does this in class. I immediately had a private chat with this student. He had never been told that doing that is a private thing. I explained that masturbating is perfectly normal, but that it can only be done at home, in privacy. I explained that if he does this in a college classroom or at the workplace, that he could be arrested for exposure. He never did it again. I'm truly sorry you had to witness that. As an educator, it really bothers me that some teachers and admin are too scared to have a serious and uncomfortable talk with students with autism. Some teachers just give them a free pass to say terrible things. Sometimes they're afraid the parents will sue the school. If we keep giving these kids a free pass, they'll never be able to hold a job. We never held them accountable. That student I mentioned before, he's graduated now and he comes back to visit me. He's doing pretty well and he's about to start college. Umbrella jump. You're doing right by him and should be proud of yourself. I think some parents, once there's a diagnosis, see their kid as forever being a child and think others will see them that way too, which obviously isn't the case. Most kids, regardless of any conditions, will be inappropriate in front of others at some point, but the parents of off-the-spectrum kids have more social pressure and fewer obstacles working with them to make it not be a thing again. On the spectrum, parents and kids have to repeat more, work more, and sometimes those parents cannot see that a grown body doing the same thing is very different to any kid doing it, because they don't see their kids as growing due to preconceptions about autism and other developmental conditions. Umbrella jump. Lamau, I will absolutely need a link to that. My late dad was definitely on the spectrum. My boyfriend of 6 years has Asperger's. He identifies with that term. Like autistic people fuck. And lower functioning people still go through puberty and have sexual feelings. It's a big issue in the Down syndrome community as well, where people think that any intellectual effect must stymie the physical processes of hormones. So what's your opinion? For more stories, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thanks.